Okay, so now I'm actually going to tell you about one of my stories of getting burned with a coin. It's not one of my finer moments. I'm not too thrilled about it, but it actually happened twice. And the first time I was just a naive buyer and I got burned. The second time I knew a little bit more and it shouldn't have happened, but the guy was good and so it still happened. But I'm going to tell you these so hopefully you can learn from my mistake and not repeat what I did. And there's a couple things. So one of the things when you're buying rare coins, there's a couple ways to quickly determine whether it's even remotely plausible that it's real. And that is the coin's diameter, the coin's thickness, these little ridges on the coin, and the coin's weight. And do not ever buy a coin without checking its weight, especially if it's a valuable one. Now, if we're talking about like a silver quarter, like a pre-1964 silver quarter, those really weren't fake that much unless it was a valuable year, only because, you know, it's only worth $7 worth of silver. How much time are you going to spend faking it? What I'm talking about here is coins that have the potential, Carson Cities, coins that have the potential to be worth thousands of dollars. These are the factors you need to consider before you ever even think about it. And so how do you do it? For one, you got to have that coin book. You got to have either the red or the blue. It doesn't matter. Both of them have the information about the coins. But on the diameter, you're going to use a millimeter gauge or millimeter calipers that you can buy at like a hardware store, electronics store. A lot of places have little millimeter digital calipers, and they usually run you 15, 20 bucks. They're not too much, and that will be able to tell you the diameter accurately. It will also be able to tell you the thickness of the coin. So the first thing when you get a coin, someone brings it to you, you're going to check its diameter, you're going to then check its thickness, and then you're going to put it on your scale and weigh it and make sure that the weight matches what the books say. So let's say the book says it weighs 26.41 grams. You want to have your scale. Another reason why you want a scale that's accurate to 0.01 grams, like I said, because this is where it's really going to matter. It needs to be really close to this. So let's say you check its diameter. Diameter matches. You check its thickness. It matches. Or we're talking about, you know, 1/100th off. You know, that's okay. Real minimal on you know, instead of being let's say 15.41 millimeters, it ends up being 15.40. Okay, that, you know, that could be caliper errors, anything. That's pretty minimal, as long as it's not like 13 or something. Then we get to your weight of your item, and let's say you weigh it and it comes out at 24.56. Don't buy it. Boom, you instantly know that coin's not real. You barely even need to do anything else, because if that coin's a year, if you're looking in the book, you can see the picture of the coin. The coin in front of you matches that picture. The year is in there. Everything looks right, except for the weight is a gram, or, you know, 2 grams off almost. Forget it. It is fake. Don't buy it. If it's even 1 gram off, they're getting closer to making a good fake, but it's still a fake. Don't buy that coin. The only way you want, like the only ones that might be plausible, you know, like 26.39, you know, you want it to be really close to that number. At that point, it could be your scale, the coin could have been worn, but at least you know that it's pretty plausible that coin could be real, especially if everything else matches up. Does it mean it's a guarantee that it's real? No, and I want to stress that, because you can't guarantee that, you know, I'm not a coin expert, you're not, most likely not a coin expert, so that's the thing. Until it gets graded by actual experts, who they literally grade it and then they put it in an airtight, sealed plastic container that no one can tamper with, and they put its grade on there, you don't know anything for sure. This just allows you to have a little bit more confidence and then maybe move on to the next level. I would still recommend, especially if it's a valuable coin, like anything over $1,000. Is the kind of my limit. Anything over $1,000, I'm definitely having it checked out by a professional coin dealer to make sure that's real. Under that, I've gotten to where I'll probably be a little bit more comfortable in doing it, but after I got burned, I wasn't too thrilled about it. So I kind of skipped that story about getting burned. I'm going to go back to it. I was telling you, these are the things you need to look for. Now you'll see in my story where I screwed up along the way. My first one, I knew nothing about this. I didn't know about weighing the coin. I didn't really know about thickness, diameter, none of it. I didn't have digital calipers. I really went into this blind. I was an easy target, easy prey for this guy. And he met me in a larger city. That's where I found his ad. He was asking a fair amount for it. I think the coin, when I looked it up in the book, was worth like $2,700 to $3,000, somewhere in that. It's quite a bit, maybe as low as $2,500. But he was asking about $850 or $900 for the coin. And so I was thinking, okay, well, he's at least asking a lot. He's not asking like $50 or $100 for this. He's asking a fair amount for it, and part of that reason was it wasn't graded. So I was thinking, okay, without having the grading service there, it's a little hard to command the full value of the coin. So, I was thinking, okay, so I printed out some pictures online, like of what the coin should look like. Details, things that I could compare. So I get to him, I meet him, he tells me about the coin, he tells me kind of where he buys it, comes up with a good story. Literally while I'm meeting there, and to this day I don't know if this was planned or not, but while we're sitting there, his phone rings and someone else wants to buy the coin. And he says, he said, well, possibly someone else is interested in it right now, and I'm actually meeting someone. I'm going to have to call you back here in a few minutes. If the coin's still available, I will definitely call you. Now that, if he was a pro and planned that, that was genius, because what better way to build like my curiosity and really make me want to have this than like basically hearing someone's about ready to take it from me if I don't buy it. So in my opinion it was planned, but it may not have been. But anyways, so I buy this coin based on what he said. I kind of looked at it, I thought I did a good evaluation. I take it to a coin dealer, and the coin dealer looks at it, and he was kind of a jerk. He gets the coin and goes, yeah, I don't think this is real. Puts it on a scale, checks it, yep, not real. Picks up my coin and throws it at me. Throws it, like, bounces across the table. And I was, first off, I thought that was a little rude of him, but, it really just, added to it, my frustration. I got a coin dealer who's being a jerk to me. I just got hosed on it. I ended up talking him down to, I think, $650, but I still lost, or $550 is what I talked him down to. I still lost $550 on that deal, and it was extremely frustrating. I got a coin that was worth $30. It happened to be, like a Morgan, an actual coin, but it made out of silver, but it just didn't happen to be a real U.S. coin, and that obviously changed what its value was. The other story is, and this guy was a real seasoned pro. I guess that's the only thing that could make me feel good about getting burned by him. He's really good. I go to meet this guy. He had a unique coin. It was a silver dollar before the Morgans, even older, from the 1700s. And this coin looked right. It had the right patinas. It kind of had the right markings where, in the right areas, in the high points where some of it is. I mean, this coin was a pretty dang good fake. And I met this gentleman to look at it, and at this point I've already been, I'm more cautious. I've been burned once, so I know what the coin needs to weigh, I know what its diameter needs to be. I've got all of these things lined out. And the first time I saw it, the coin was loose, and he said he was going to take it to someone, get a handwritten analysis, and get it put in a nicer thing, da-da-da-da-da. Well, he comes back, and it's in a case, and not in like a sealed case, but a case that he put it in. And it made me a little skeptical, but you have to remember this gentleman also was selling me a bunch of other gold and silver. So, I know I'm making some money on this gold and silver. I don't want to, offend him too much because I'm trying to buy all that gold and silver. And so I bought a fair amount of gold and silver. Then I get to this coin. And I go to take this coin out of its container. And mind you, his phone's been ringing the whole time, from his wife or someone, whatever, that, he needs to be going, that, he's in a hurry, da-da-da. And he says, I know, but I'm still finishing up here, just take time. So we're getting to the end of this, and I said, okay, I'm just going to take this coin out real quick, and then I'm going to weigh it, make sure everything's legitimate, and then we can, then we can go about our ways and stuff. And he goes, okay, well, I'm just going to pack some stuff up here and get ready to go, so that, my wife can stop yelling at me, yada, yada, yada. So he's packing some stuff up, and I'm trying to get this coin out, and I'm kind of looking down like, God, this thing is just not wanting to come out here. It was in there pretty good, and I was trying to get this case open, And I look up and I see his car pulling out and heading out of the, heading out of the place extremely quickly. And it was like that moment where you just realize, you instantly realized you got hosed again. He didn't even keep us. I mean, I couldn't even keep the guy there long enough. I should have known something was up. I should have said, hey, no, why don't you sit down, till I finish this. But got up, took my product, took my money. We had traded a couple things, so he had took those items and ran with them basically before I could even, really figure out that the coin wasn't real. I had every intention of weighing it, and when I got home and actually got it torn apart, because at that point I knew I was burned. I didn't even bother and do any of that. When I got home and weighed it, of course, the weight was off. So had I done that in the beginning, it never would have happened. So this is what I'm telling you. These are the things you need to look out for so that you don't get burned when you're doing it. Now,